AD has approved KC-1400 Collective. Everybody want to hear me say that? This is what it's all about. They're around. They are supporting. The money is going directly to our student athletes. They're signing deals. They have contracts. Let's do it. I mean, without this collective, we won't be successful. We won't be able to sustain our student athletes. I mean, 1400 Collective have done a really, really good job of keeping a lot of our athletes here. You know, if you saw them sign a lot of our athletes, but we got to do our part. So I know after today, we're going to click that 1400 Collective. We're going to give one of those tiers, and we're going to make sure that we give to this collective so we can continue to give to our student athletes and support them and give them what I need. And I want to thank you all, Ken, TD, D-Core, C,
T-Dub.
Yeah, T-Dub, everyone that created and helped create it. I know I'm missing some names.
Jackson State has a collective full throttle. They have a collective full throttle. And I mean, like, so they, you know, we won the national championship in 2023, and we were slowly but surely trying to get our collective going. Jackson State won it this past year. Their collective is full throttle. Like, it is full throttle. They don't want to lose. They didn't want to lose anybody. And they went full throttle. And I mean, that's you correct me if I'm wrong. That's what happened.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Make sure you guys hit the like button, share button, subscribe button. Happy to be back on tonight. Got a great show planned for you guys. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to go over to YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, do the same. Head over to YouTube, KC-1400 Media, and you guys know what to do. It's Wednesday. We got a special guest coming in tonight. Looking forward to this conversation. Hopefully you guys have had a good day, though. Let me see who in the chat. I did drop the link, so the collective link is pinned to the chat as per usual. We are only 31 signups away from hitting our goal of 500. So excited about that. Ready to hit that 500. And we are also in the process of working on another partnership. When that do take place, we'll be more than happy to bring that to you guys. So exciting times as we gear up. We're only 2 months away from football season, so we're almost there. I see somebody already jumped the gun on me. Who was that? Who was that talking in the chat? That's doing that talk. That's my girl right there. That's the voice of KC-1400 Media, Miss Netta. How you doing, sis? Just like she said, we are we on the road to 8,000 subscribers, man. We on the road to 8,000. How do we get there? We a little over 7,000 subscribers, about 350, 340 something away. Tell a friend. And if you know any other JSU alums that can appreciate the content, that want to watch, keep up with what all the happenings, what's going on with our dear old college home, 1400 JR Lynch Street. Y'all know where to send them to. Send them to KC-1400 Media on YouTube. We are live on Mondays. We are live on Wednesdays. And we are live on Fridays, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, and we will get there. We will definitely get there, man. So let's see who all in the chat. See Brother Dent. What's up, Kevin Dent? KT Dub in the building. What's going on, everybody? Let's see. Haley, how you doing, sis? Lee Jr., Brother Israel. Who else? Natasha, Miss Bunny, Kevin, JTVs. Y'all make sure y'all share the stream on Twitter, Facebook, as well as all your different social media platforms. But while we wait on Toronto to join the stream, we'll go ahead and get some preliminaries out of the way. If you're new to the channel, again, we have a foundation. Our foundation. This is the mothership of how we do everything that we do. How we're able to do everything that we do is through our foundation, Friends of KC-1400 Inc. Our mission is to provide strategic resources and financial support to the Jackson State University community through collaborative initiatives to stabilize and enhance the viability of students. That's a real thing. That's how we get down. That's what we do. That's how we do what we do. That's how we're able to have the collective. The collective is our name, image, and likeness division of our foundation. And without this foundation, we would not be able to do what it is that we're doing. If you'd like to donate to the foundation, you can go to Givelify, search Friends of KC-1400 Inc. If you want to sign up for the collective, cut a check, everything you got to go to Friends of KC-1400 Inc. All donations and payments are tax deductible. And there he is. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? You on mute?
What's up, Ken? Tiger Nation, how y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? Just got a Bible study. I mean, vacation Bible school, man. So,
hey, man, you got to do what you got to do. No, it's all good. It's all good, baby.
JTV, what's up? Hey, you know what, JTV? Ken, JTV let me know that it was Dr. Little birthday yesterday, man. I didn't know it.
Dr. Little?
Dr. Little.
Okay, happy birthday, Dr. Little, man.
Dr. Little.
The band director of the best band in the land, the Sonic Boom of the South. We ain't debate your play, cousin. We ain't trying to talk about it. It is what it is. We know there's some other folk out there that claim to have. They got some decent bands around the conference. We ain't gonna talk about that MEAC stuff because we know that A&T got they got some ESPN love because some folks that ain't from the culture was judging that band battle. We smoked them folks and left dust on the field. We had some smoke coming off the field and they still hated on us and even they were shocked, TD.
On a turf field. What's up, LaDon?
Mm-hmm.
He's mad. What's up?
By the way, man. Shout out to my brother, Juan that did this cup for me. Pretty cool cup. I'm gonna be sipping from that cup tonight, But nevertheless, yeah, man. How was your day, bro? It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Everybody, as everybody tend to build up in the chat, we know you ain't the only one that's late. Everybody seems like they late. We all dragging a little bit. It's hump day, but when it's hump day, we only a couple days away from the weekend, so.
Yeah, man. It been the rest of the day been good. Had to take some time off yesterday. So I took a half a day. So I had had the doctor's appointment and then I worked pretty good today, which was great. I enjoyed doing that. I'm ready to get back in the gym. Well, I've been kind of flirting around with it. Now I'm ready to just start back walking again. The key thing is to not overdo it. So I'm gonna have to realize I can't pick out where I left off, and the goal I had set for the end of the summer, I'm not gonna meet it, so I got to redo that and just get back to it, man. That's all I can do.
Hey, I just dived back into it, bro. I was so happy to be home, not traveling, and brother, I am 3 days in a row. And look, I ain't posted nothing on no social media. I ain't looking for no likes or nothing. TD, I got to be real with you, bro. After traveling as much as I did, being gone, getting back home, I got on the scale, bro. I was scared. I wouldn't. If I wasn't, I wouldn't tell you a lie. I didn't want to look down when I got on it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and get this out the way and see how much damage has been done. The damage is done.
Hey,
I looked down, and lo and behold,
it was
I had lost weight. I was like, what?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, what am I? A total of 21 pounds down. That's even after a couple of a couple of weeks of traveling, being away from the house. And man, I've been the past 3 days, I've been walking. Hey, Miss Pam, I'm back in the groove. I'm back eating healthy again. Boy, it took it, man. Let me tell y'all something. Family. This has been the hardest 3 days of going to go walk. I've been in a straight rebellion, bro. Like but let me tell you how I've done it though. I don't want to do it, bro. But I just go do it anyway.
Right.
I just put my shoes on, I go outside, and I just start walking.
Kid, just look at it like this, babe. The team gonna need you this year, babe. They gonna need you on your sideline with your towel and your sunglasses, bro.
Hey, look, man.
They gonna need you.
How I felt last year. I'm already. Listen, I'll just say it this way, you guys. With my ID, my license, right? When I moved here 5 years ago, I had a certain weight, TD. I just got back to the weight that I was 5 years ago.
Man, you're doing good, man.
And I feel good, man. I was just shocked though, because I felt like I was gaining weight. I felt like I wasn't losing anything, man. But to see that I had done everything that I had done, and I was still losing, just not too much. But now, Fred, I'm past the stage. Now, dog. Hey, y'all know I love my shoes. See, I got my water machine today, bro. I got a water machine in the office now, and I'm trying to get my water intake up, right? The dude was delivering my machine, bro. He was like, he said, "Man, nice shoe collection, bro." Because I got on both sides, y'all can't see it, but on both sides, I got a stack of shoes all the way up to the ceiling, dog, on this. All J's, baby. Y'all know I love LeBron, but I rocks my J's, man. I got a nice little stash, and that's just half of it.
Look at Fred bragging, man. Hey, I never thought I'd be jealous of a man walking 4 miles, man. But that's what I was doing, bro.
Hey, man, I'm walking 3 miles a day. Actually, close to 4 miles a day right now.
Man, it's cool.
And I'm proud of it, man. I'm proud of it. Appreciate you, Victor. Hey, listen, which jacket are you talking about? The jacket I wore at Celebration Bowl was from, I forgot where it was from. I forgot the website. The white jacket that I had was from Reed Enterprise. Shout out to Reed Enterprise. I got all them jackets, man. One of my jackets, look, I'm gonna go ahead and shout Kazari's buoy out because I owe him a jacket, bro. Because I was like, if y'all win this game, I'm gonna give you this jacket out my back. He ain't let me live it down ever since, did he?
He should.
He said, hey, big bro, I need that jacket. I said, I ain't gonna give it to you now because I need you to make it to the season. I give it to you now, you put it on, you might pass out in this Mississippi heat. So we're gonna wait till the weather break, and I have it for you, brother. I'm gonna bring it to him.
You know Kazari's from Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
I know this man.
I'm just saying. You know, he always walking with his gallon of water. So I gotta make sure. You said the one now. You're talking about this is a fleece. The tiger on the block. Yeah. This is a fleece. Matter of fact, shout out to Coach Daniel Price, Coach DP. When he departed Jackson State, he gave me a big old bag of stuff, man. And since we about the same size, I was like, hey, bro, I like that. So he gave me 2 bags of stuff. So I went through and kept some and gave away the rest of it. And it's dope stuff, man. So, but nevertheless, Ken, y'all selling that mug you drink. Hey, Dewan, bro. Hey, bro, listen. If you watching the show, man, drop your info in the chat, man. Somebody did this for me as a gift. So they had the Tiger Talk logo, obviously the KC-1400 logo, the JSU block. No, they're not selling it because it's JSU block unless they got a license. But they got the field, they got the vet on there. I don't know if you guys can see it with the. So it's pretty cool stuff, man. I like this.
That's the one we all have, but there's another one. That's another one you got.
No, we all have that one.
Okay.
You got the one that had the Broncos on it.
Yeah, that's when I be drinking my shake out of. That be on the screen.
Who else I owe a jacket?
To be honest with you, I had first dibs on that white one though.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is that
Irv.
I owe Irv a jacket. Okay, all right.
You don't get cold in South Carolina.
Nevertheless, listen, we're gonna get through a couple preliminaries. Look, tonight, man, we got a special guest tonight. Mr. Mark Dawson is going to be joining us tonight. He's the chairman of the 1877 Project. I think y'all know a little something about that. We actually talked about it on the show. As you guys know, we don't sugarcoat anything on the platform. We go right to the real issues. We deal with everything. We talk about it. Jackson State is in a situation right now where we have another interim president. Shout out to Dr. Denise Gregory. She's doing a fantastic job as interim. But nevertheless, how we got in that situation is the institution of higher learning just have failed Jackson State with the past 3 hires. So Brother Mark and his team have done a fantastic job of creating another avenue of accountability with the IHL. So when we find ourselves in a very tough, tumultuous time, we have some amazing alums and and that have taken initiative to do some things when they have felt as though the things that could be happening weren't happening. So we've touched on that a good little bit. So yep, I was on a Zoom yesterday. Good information, but yeah, good stuff. Now I will say this, brother. He's the chairman of the 1877 Project for a Better JSU. You can go follow them on Twitter at the 1877 Project, and then you can click the website, the1877project.org. Visit the website. It's a very, very user-friendly way of they'll do everything for you. You can communicate directly, email the IHL. They'll draw that letter up for it, and it has been effective. It has been effective, and we're going to touch all on that tonight. I didn't even realize that we were in the company of Brother Dawson. Brother Dawson was in Atlanta. We had our fundraiser over there at the Beverly, and he won a couple of bottles. He was hey man, he had the winning tickets. He had the winning tickets, CD, and I'm sitting there like this brother is he gotta. I might need to get him to give me some of them lottery numbers, bro. So I'm like, he's doing pretty good on the raffles. But shout out to Brother Jerome. Shout out to Brother Jerome Brooks. He connected us via text today, actually. And I was like, nice to meet you, Mr. Dawson. And he was like, well, Ken, we met in Atlanta. I said, wait a minute. And he was like, yeah, I won the bottles. I said, OMG. Then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off. I remember seeing the video of him on the news. And we're going to actually play a clip of that before we bring him up. And we'll basically, once we play this clip, we'll have him join. He also joined the collective today. So shout out to Brother Dawson, put his money where his mouth is at. He came and supported. He is the rightful owner of 2 awesome bottles of Greenwood whiskey. I want to say he has I don't know which one he got, but he got 2 of them. I let him tell you guys how they went. We're going to talk about the event, and then he's also going to bring up someone that's part of his team as well afterwards, and we're going to have a good conversation with him and prefer to do that. Also, I saw Brother Dawson several videos in Atlanta. Absolutely. But stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and play this clip, and then afterwards we'll bring Brother Mark Dawson up.
There are a lot of eyes on the search for a new Jackson State University president, and it's bringing up questions of the board's history with past searches. 300 Science Courtney Jackson has the very latest.
The upcoming search for a new Jackson State University president is yet again putting the process under the microscope.
We're asking for accountability, a sort of public acknowledgement of what has gone wrong in the failures of the last 3 presidential searches and exits.
For alums like Mark Dawson, they want to see the university community's voices heard.
If you are a student who came to Jackson State in the fall of 2022, you have had a different president, whether appointed by IHL or interim, each year that you've been a student there. That's not a good experience for anyone. The students are succeeding in spite of the leadership and not because of it. So the call for public accounting and accountability and the lessons learned and to do it publicly is as much for alumni as it is for them. They deserve that.
Dawson is chairman of alum group The 1877 Project. They created a website that makes it easy to contact IHL members and state leaders. Representative Chris Bell filed a bill related to the issue in 2020.
I am 1,000% sure that new legislation will be filed to address these needs and concerns. I've spoken to several legislators on both sides of the aisle that have expressed their concerns about IHL.
See, JSU isn't alone in its questioning of past searches. Ole Miss, for example, has had public fallouts about prior decisions. Bell's bill in 2020 sought to abolish the IHL board. He doesn't anticipate new legislation to be quite as extreme. That, in part, is because the IHL commissioner has been receptive to concerns.
But at the end of the day, there needs to be some legislation addressing schools having the benefit of selecting their own president.
Courtney Ann Jackson, 3 on your side.
And there he is, Brother Dawson. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, Ken. And listen, TD, good to meet you, brother. But before we get into any of that presidential search, because that's important, but I want to go back to where you were at the beginning. I was in the Dome for that Battle of the Bands when they robbed us and gave it to A&T. I was there.
Come
I
on,
watched
talk
it
to me.
all. So I watched this, because they had the smaller schools first, and Florida Memorial showed out. So did Virginia State, and what have you. When the boom tore the building up, I thought it was over. I mean, A&T, it was good, but it wasn't the championship good.
Right.
They took that one from us, brother. I was there.
You know what? I at that point in time, I lost faith in all that stuff, man, because we did a fantastic job, coach. I was gonna say coach, but Dr. Little had us prepared. I mean, the musicianship was amazing. The field show was outstanding.
Yeah.
I thought we checked all the boxes, and lo and behold, they made their decision.
Hey, sometimes it happened that way, but it's all good. We still are who we are. We still rise. Thank you for having me on, though, brother.
No, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, we appreciate Brother Jerome for the connection. We find ourselves somewhat the waters were troubled a little bit, but before we even get into all of that type of stuff, I did want to just kind of set that up. We're gonna talk a little bit about the event. I want you to let everybody know how that event went in Atlanta. It was a great time. We would have loved for the bottles to be available for everyone to purchase. They wound up being available on Monday, but nevertheless, we had a great turnout, great event at the Beverly in Atlanta in partnership with JSU National Alumni Association Atlanta chapters, as well as Greenwood Whiskey. So I'll let you jump in there, and I'll let TD open this up, and then we'll get started with a great conversation.
Okay. So you listen, I will tell you at that event, first off, it was really good for me to be there because I hadn't been in the room with the Atlanta Jacksonians since the SWAC championship for basketball, which was in Atlanta back in March Madness. And that was crazy. I mean, both the men and the women showed us really proud. And I ended up going to that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I did make the championship where the men were in the championship that Saturday night. So there's a lot of people that I hadn't seen since then. So just first off, that alone, being in the Beverly with the collective and with the whiskey makers from Greenwood, it was it was just good fellowship, man, and reconnecting with people and having them hate on me for winning 2 bottles of Greenwood liquor. I won the homecoming collection signed by the whiskey makers. So that was the first bottle.
All right.
It was hate already then. It was already hate. It was already hating then. So, because I came in a little late and people were already up and running, came in winning, and then about 20 minutes later, they were calling the last number. And I looked down and like, oh, they called me again? And that's when I won the handcrafted rye. And I have both of them upstairs. And I like rye whiskey, so I'm gonna use them for old fashioned. I haven't cracked it yet because I wanna I definitely want to enjoy it with some other Jacksonians. So it was a great event, and just anytime that for me and other Jacksonians, when we can connect anywhere in the country, and football season will be here soon, so that gives us a lot of time to connect. But anytime off sort of season for football, and like I said, we had just been at the SWAC tournament, which was great.
Right.
By the way, I really wish if there was any feedback that I'd had for the SWAC championship tournament for basketball, is I just wish more people had known about it in advance. Because so this is just a fact. I'm not bragging or anything. You say Jackson State is going to be there. It's a bunch of Jacksonians in the building automatically, right?
Absolutely.
And I want to say Thursday, it was that Thursday in the tournament, it was us against FAMU, and they show up strong too. So
yeah, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, especially in Atlanta. So so that was good. But just being there, supporting the collective. I also got this T-shirt too.
I was gonna tell you, man, that's a fly shirt you got on right there. Man.
Listen, I got this T-shirt from the collective.
Yep.
Plus 2 bottles. So I don't know what else anybody else would need to hear. When you have an event, you need to go and try to come up.
Hey, I was sure I'm gonna put you on display.
There it is.
There you go, right there, man. Hey, brother, you got yourself. You got brother Sean from Greenwood representing.
Yep.
That you got the handcrafted ride, the signature green bottle, and then you had also the homecoming edition bottle, which is all signed by the Greenwood team as well as us. And then of course the second photo is you saluting your Q Dog fraternity, and the best cat, that's KT Dub in there representing the Alphas. But I wanted to make sure I put that up there real quick.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Hey, good evening, brother.
Rubbing on his lips right now.
That's okay. Got to be fresh. I get it.
I'm messing with it. Go ahead, man.
Got to keep them moist.
I don't know how to touch that.
That might not be the right word.
I don't know how to touch that one. You can see with all this gray, I'm from a different generation, so I'm gonna pretend like I didn't even hear that. I don't even know what to do with that. I'm gonna let y'all have that one.
No, gracious, man. All right, go ahead, brother. You
man. Hey, it's good to see you again, brother Mark. Had a chance to meet you at the event.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, we did. Sure did. That's right.
I'm how you got that nice looking shirt you got on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this, I mean, it's really nice. To be honest with you, I was gonna wait until the first home game, because my wife went to Hampton.
Ah, nice.
Right, and so that's a school we don't normally play.
That's correct.
And I was gonna, wear that. I was gonna bust this out fresh for that game, but for this, I decided to put it on today. So
just hang it back up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep, let's hang it back up.
Let's hang it back up. Well, glad for you to join us tonight, man. We appreciate the effort and stuff that you and your team are putting forward. So I'm definitely looking forward to the conversation to get educated on, everything that's going on. So good. Nice for you to join us. We appreciate you. Hope we get a chance to see you again, seeing like you attend all the sporting events. So when we come to Atlanta, we got to look you up.
Yeah, man. I especially the ones here in Atlanta. I mean, when the men have been here for baseball, try to make it to the games, a lot of times playing over at Georgia Tech when they played here and what have you, just try to make all of the Jackson State events. And I have to say that a big part of why we formed the 1877 project is because, we love the university. We really mean the I love is not just a refrain from the hymnal, but it is that we really love the university. We love the camaraderie. We know what it has meant to us in terms of us as men and women who left Jackson, Mississippi, and have made our way in the world and raised families, and had a lot of us that have also sent children there to Jackson State. So the vitality of and the vibrancy and having Jackson State as a legacy that lives on is very important. And what we've had really over the last, we've had 4 presidents, if you include interims, in the last 5 years. And that has actually caused us to lose ground in other areas, especially in terms of fundraising. There is Mackenzie Scott, who's given over $500 million to HBCUs, to 23 HBCUs. Morgan State's gotten some, Prairie View's gotten some, Boyd State. Alcorn has gotten some, and I am so happy that each of those schools have gotten them. But I look on that list and wonder why Jackson State isn't getting any of that. You can attribute that to leadership, because you don't get that kind of donation from that kind of donor by just picking up the phone, right? You got to work that. You got to build some relationships. You have to have a stable leadership team or what have you. And that's just one of the anecdotes. So what we came together to do is to say enough is enough, because on each of the past 3, at least permanent appointments, there was a lot of raised eyebrows from alumni when the appointments were made. And then on each of the exits, there was either, resign with no explanation, or some, really embarrassing sort of scandal. And what we are saying to IHL is that, listen, we want some accountability for what has happened in the past, especially for those students that have had a lot of turnover in the presidential seat.
Absolutely.
We want accountability and some sort of public acknowledgement that hasn't been a good experience. But more than that, because this isn't just about throwing mud, we want IHL to do a lessons learned to say where the process broke down and how it won't happen again. So the first thing we want is accountability. Following on to that is that we want a thorough national search. And whenever I say national, Mississippi is still in the union. So that includes, qualified Jacksonians. That includes qualified Mississippians who may be, we're not aware of at this point. But what we want to do is have a thorough search, and to make sure that the criteria is clear, and that everybody understands what good looks like, and that we can get our arms around that as a community. And then we want it to be transparent. Say what you're going to do, and keep us aware of what's going on throughout the process, but also include alumni, include students, include professors, and include key community partners, key community stakeholders. And I don't have a specific definition of that. It could be people from the clergy. It could be people who are business people in Jackson, or whatever, we come up with, but the community has to be represented in that. And so we want to get this right. And so the 1877 project is committed to, one, raising awareness amongst alumni. Everything that you all were talking about, or that we talked about, the Celebration Bowl, and at the Battle of the Bands, and then us winning the Celebration Bowl. I was there for that. It was so good to be there, because I got to tell you, in my barbershop, they clowned me so bad on the previous 2 Celebration Bowls when we lost to South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. I can't tell you how bad they clowned how bad they clowned me. So to win that one was good, but it also gave me some get back in the barbershop. But all of those wonderful things about the university are absolutely true. Jackson State is a great place to go, to not just go to get a college education, but to be developed as a man or woman, and then to have community formed around you. And so we want to preserve that, and we're going to fight for it. I don't know what, and I want people to understand, when we say we're going to fight for it, we're not fighting because we can win. We are fighting because we have to. This isn't about, we're not picking a battle just because, we know, they will change just because we said. No, I mean, listen, what Dr. Peoples referred to in his memoir, Survive and Thrive, or what have you, is the College Board, which is formerly IHL. I'm sure they have a position, and we'd love to sit down and talk to them about what that position is. So we're not unreasonable at all. What we are saying is that us as a collective of alumni are not pleased with this, and we want something different, and we want a seat at the table, and we want to be problem solvers together. Jackson State is our university, so we want to be there at the table, making sure that things are right.
Very well said. There's a lot. Man, there's so many ways to go with that. I'll do this. I know you have another partner.
Yeah.
Rush Sr. He'll be joining us here shortly to also take a deep dive into the IHL presidential search process piece. But I did want to just kind of, if you can, Mark, if you don't mind backing up, put some shape and form to when you guys got started, like kind of that mission, who, like what is the origin for those of us who just seen the 1877 project on the news talking, and we're like, wait a minute, finally somebody's saying something. Add a little bit of shape for that. For those
yes. I'm so glad you asked that. So when Dr. Marcus Thompson was appointed, it was the week after the Mississippi gubernatorial election when Reeves was reelected, and before the Alcorn game. A lot of my calendar in the house is centered around which games they are. So I remember that.
No worries. I understand.
Yep. And at during that time, there were a lot of alumni who were talking about, the appointment. Now, I didn't know Dr. Thompson at all, and we wanted to, give him the best chance possible in good faith. But what we were talking about was the process. And just over that time period throughout the holidays, there were just lots of alumni like, they're not going to say anything to us about how the selection was made or any of those things. And we started to meet really in probably a few months after that, like March or so of last year. And we started looking at not just sort of the presidential search process. We started to look at things like housing. We looked at enrollment numbers. We looked at, we're looking at things like the number of non-athletic scholarships available to students. So we were looking at a number of issues that aren't as sexy as, winning the Celebration Bowl, but still very important to the university.
Oh, without question.
We were up and running, and we also have been working, with people in the president's office to understand this. So again, we're not a group that is throwing a rock and hiding our hands. We're raising our hand and say, hey, here's a problem and we'll help. So we have been working together as a group for about a year. And then when Dr. Thompson's resignation occurred, we said, enough is enough. And we switched gears, put together, Jacksonians put together the website, T3 Solutions, to get it up and running and get the letter out that people have helped us to petition IHL, the board, the governor, and lawmakers, what have you. But it's been a good year's worth of work of us diligently meeting with other HBCU lawmakers, other HBCU administrators, meeting with lawmakers there in Mississippi, and just understanding the landscape of higher education. So I'm so glad you asked that, because it's not just, this happened and we got started. We've been working on this working as a group for a while.
So TD, John, real quick, I'm really trying to set this up. A lot of these questions I have for myself. What I do, Mark, is that if I have a question, there is no reason to be ever confused when you can ask the right questions. The thing I would say is when you say we, we're talking about shape and form. We're talking about transparency. We're talking about understanding. There are two pressing questions that I have from what you were saying. Number one is when you say we, like, what does that team look like? Like the count. And it doesn't take a whole lot, because it's only 4 of us primarily that do what we do. So but I want to touch on that. It's a two-part thing in understanding the size of this team that's been working for a year. The next question I would have is, what would you say to those who say, well, Why don't you just join what already exists and try to make that better, as opposed to creating something separate and different? And we'll go into that. Take it from that. That's what's in my mind.
I'll answer both of those questions. So the way I would look at it is that we have a senior steering committee, in which one of the members, Dr. Tim Rush, will follow me to talk more about what we're doing. I saw Benicia Quinn, who's on there. We have Francis Moncrief, who really kind of crafted the letter, and Francis is there. Okay, we have people on there. So that's, we have a team of about 10 that's there. We've also had a group of another about 20 that have served as advisory that we've updated them on, and then we had another 90 or so that supported us in asking some questions to the Alumni Association about how do we handle these issues and work together. And I want to say that when people say, well, just join, why not join the group that's already there? I am a member of the Alumni Association. Not only am I a member, I'm a life member of the Alumni Association. Of the people on our senior steering committee team, everybody is a member of the Alumni Association, and I want to say either all or all except one or something like that is also a life member. So we are people that believe in the I love also requires you to be a part of things. That's why I joined the collective. I want to go to the games and feel good that we're trying to put a competitive product out there, right? So anything that we can do. So this isn't a thing of where we are pitting ourselves as definitely not against or competing with the Alumni Association at all. What I would say is that the Alumni Association, certainly I'm a member of the Metro Atlanta chapter. It's a great job in terms of right now I'm getting emails about the back to school send off for our students who will be going back in the fall. When I talked about people, Jacksonians being there at the SWAC tournament basketball, I got that, as a heads up from the Alumni Association to remind you, hey, come down and we need to support the team. I participate. My wife and I both participate. She went to Hampton and HBCU in the 5K HBCU 5K, where we raise money for scholarships and what have you. So the Alumni Association is viable and necessary, and we want to see them do well, and we're a part of it. But what I would say is that the work that we are doing has a little more grease to it. It's a little bit more where we're being a little more direct, and we are also again trying to get at some of the thornier issues. And as a independent group, a smaller group, we have a better opportunity to be nimble, sort of putting the website out there, gathering momentum, being able to participate in the show like this without, having to check in or anything like that. So that's the difference. But I'm a life member of the Alumni Association and will be. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Tim, you got something?
Yeah, first, I'm sitting there listening at you, Mark, and even watching you. I'm listening at you speak and checking out your great beard and everything you got going on, man. You give me great president vibes.
Yeah. So first off, what, I started dyeing my beard during the pandemic, and after I started dyeing it, I just putting that gray in. So my barber puts in the gray. So you gotta go to him to get your hair dyed. I will tell you, there are lots of people who are in the Alumni Association as chapter presidents, regional presidents, or what have you. I think the current president, this is the last term. Again, I would urge people to join and to raise their hand for leadership. But the work that I'm doing is really the work that I want to do. That's not where certainly I'm going ahead of than any of that. But that's,
well, I actually have.
I take that as a compliment, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah, great. Yes, sir. In other words, very intelligent.
Yeah.
So what I was going to ask you, first you was talking about the Alumni Association.
Yes.
So, with the president search and everything going on, how exactly does the alumni chapter president or the, really intercede, what I'm saying, for, the people out here, like, what are they supposed to do? Are they like elected class presidents? You know what I'm saying? What exactly?
Yeah. You know what the Alumni Association is, and it's on the website, their website, which I think is jsunaa.org. I hope I got that right. But it's on the website. They are actually having a meeting on July 7th. I have saved the date for it that they sent to members, where they have invited 2 members of IHL board to come and talk to alumni. So I will learn as much as this, probably the same questions that you have. I'll be in attendance and hear what's going on then as well. So and I've also spoken to leadership in the Alumni Association, and they have been encouraging and appreciative of the work that we're doing. So we are doing things not separately, but I think we're running, all our ships are sailing in the same direction, which is for a better JSU. We may be just doing it differently. I just put it like that.
I agree with that. We can. I was second that as well. Similar to what we do. We have a lane. Everyone has a lane.
Yes,
and it is what it is. Go ahead, T. You want to build on that?
Yeah. One more question I had for him. I love the project. Now that I know what's behind it, because it be so much going on with the internet and stuff now. You never know what's the scam, what's not.
That's
who's
good
searching for information, who you never know. So I'm glad that you put a face, to the project. So that was a move right there.
Well, listen, I'm so glad you said that, and a lot of our members will echo that, because that's the thing that we've talked about and gotten feedback of. We got to put a name to it so that people know us, touch us, and what have you. And we actually had a meeting for an extended group of alumni, and I will let you all know the next time we have this, with about 60 folks last night, which is how Jerome ended up connecting us today, Ken. The momentum from that meeting of wanting to put names and faces with the name behind the 1877 project, so we can build that trust and be accessible to the broader Jacksonian community.
Outstanding. Well, Mark, you like you said, you don't do this alone. Go ahead,
brother. I have one more thing, because I listen. Right. This is a sports show, so I was ready to come on here and to talk about my favorite Jackson State football team, which is the 1920 team, the Iron 13. Okay. The Iron 13 in 1920, they only had 13 players.
Yep.
1920, they were undefeated. They opened up in 1920 against Tougaloo, 13-0. They beat Utica 63-0, and then Mississippi Industrial on Thanksgiving Day of 1920, 21-14 to win the Mississippi College Championship, and they went undefeated for 3 years. So I thought that's what we were going to talk about, but I guess they weren't on the collective, though. Y'all didn't get in brothers no NIL deal. See, that's the thing that I'm actually got beat, that y'all didn't support the Iron 13, man.
Man, you know what? I tell you, man, a rich part of Jackson State's athletic sports history. I was just 62 years removed from, my dad and my mom having a night out. You know what I mean? So that was before
right.
No, I'm just teasing. I would say probably the 96 team, but no, the 85 team. I mean, shout out to my brother KD.
I thought I was gonna say Kevin Dent was on there so I was in school when Kevin Dent was there for sure. And I mean I think they went 27 straight SWAC games under WC Gordon there. I mean, I think all of those games were fire. Those games were fire, and especially now we lost against USM. But it was good to see them brothers on it and knock Brett Favre out the game. I was there for that. Listen, I was there. We were on them that day down in Hattiesburg. So anyway, listen, I so appreciate you all having me on. Dr. Rush, Dr. Tim Rush, who is a Jacksonian, couple of generations at this point, and has done a lot of heavy lifting for the work that we're doing and helping us to understand higher education and also Mississippi politics or what have you, can really give a lot more detail and clarity around, the presidential search and what it means. But I can only say thank you for having me on. And there's my brother Timmy Rush right there. So I'm gonna thank you all, and I'm gonna move on out. But appreciate you all. Yes,
so
sir.
You stay on with Tim.
Oh, I can stay on. Okay.
We doing this together. You ain't gonna just come up here and drop the mic.
All right, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay. All right,
Mark. I have a question for you, and Tim probably can chime in as well. And so you guys made it very easy for alumni, people who's concerned about the presidential race and everything, to sign up, with being able to sign up the project. How much participation have you received, for people signing up, and what kind of feedback have you received from the destination in which he's going to?
Yeah. So as of today, so we're over 500 people have logged under the petition and sent a letter in. Now, I will tell you, we want to get to 1,000, which is why this is very helpful, and why some other smaller meetings that we're having with people from the Boom and other places to get more participation, because we've got a couple of things that we need to have happen. One is just the awareness and having more people involved with it. But then the other thing is that we want to make sure that the lawmakers, and I'm talking about even the lawmakers who are Jacksonians, who have helped guide us and helped to counsel us or whatever, to know that this isn't a handful of us that are questioning this. It's a mass of Jacksonians that are doing this. Now, it's summertime, and there was graduation season, and people, I heard you, Brother TD, talking about Bible. You went to Bible study tonight, but
Bible school, yes.
Yeah, you got vacation Bible school, so you got kids, got parents taking the kids to grandma's house and all of those things. So it's a lot of people not paying attention. But what we didn't want to do is wait until August or September, when IHL is moving. Now, I actually ran into a neighbor of mine today in a coffee shop here, and she went to FAMU. And so we essentially, Jackson State and FAMU, have a very similar situation around the presidential search.
Correct.
I am not, because I don't know enough detail, and she offered to connect us with some people that are doing similar work. But this is sitting back. The thing that we are trying to do, that I think FAMU was a little late in terms of really raising their voice broadly or what have you in their presidential search. So, and by late, I'm calculating that around, and I don't know their process, so I want to be very careful to not overspeak. But when Will Packer, the film director, put out that call, and then it was picked up by Roland Martin, and it was picked up by national media, what have you, they were already on their final interviews. So they were in the last 2 weeks of the process when the voices started getting raised. And so what we tried to do, Dr. Thompson resigned on May 7th. we had our petition out on June 1st, and we're going to continue to be working throughout this process. So I almost forgot what the question is, but the thing is that we wanted to get started early and start raising awareness. So we're at 500 now. We want to have at least 1,000 to even feel good about this effort. Having said that, we've gotten feedback from lawmakers. We've gotten feedback from people like you, other alumni. People are watching, and it is making a difference, but we can do a whole lot more.
And the information is going directly to the
IHL.
IHL. Okay,
it's going directly to the IHL board members and to various lawmakers.
So outstanding. So Brother Timothy Rush Sr., how you doing? You're on mute right now. You can actually take your microphone off mute. Welcome to the live stream. We appreciate you for joining us. It's right. It should see right by your name. There you go. There you go.
How you gentlemen doing?
Man, we're doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening. Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir. My pleasure. I want to just digress just one little bit. I think y'all are a little bit off. If I remember correctly, that team won 35 consecutive SWAC games.
Was it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
35? I thought it was 28.
And one more plug in. I don't know if you all have covered it, but I want the record to reflect that Earl Sanders will be inducted into the College Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's awesome.
Are you talking baseball, right?
Yes, sir. And I said the College Hall of Fame, not the SWAC, not Mississippi, the College Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Earl's been at Tougaloo coaching about the last 20 plus years and doing an outstanding job with the young men over there. Yeah. So I congratulate him on that.
Absolutely. We actually did touch on it on our last show.
Beautiful.
Got a chance to meet him over at the AD celebration. This is what you speak of, Brother Earl Sanders. I had it already.
There he is. Big E.
Now this, like I said, we'll go through it again since you mentioned it. Earl we called him Shohei Ohtani Mocha before there was a Shohei Ohtani.
That's right.
Those that don't know, he was a standout pitcher, and in the same year he won the SWAC hitter and pitcher of the year in 1986, batting an amazing .432, 17 home runs, 60 RBIs, and he led the team to the NCAA regionals hosted in LSU and a SWAC championship. So 21 standouts. He's the only other he's joined Coach Bob Braddy, the legendary Robert Braddy, in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. So appreciate you for bringing that up, man. Earl Sanders.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to take our small victories, man, as an attack on our institutions throughout the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're here to speak to that because we definitely want to delve a little bit deeper into that. I know Brother Marks mentioned that you're more streamlined when it comes to the presidential processes and can kind of take a little deeper dive for us and our audience that in what it is that you're doing for the 1877 project, and you can take it however you want to go and share whatever you like.
Okay, Brother Mark is so great. He's an outstanding job, and he's very correct. There's a team of us, and we've had hands on all on deck, man, and it's been a labor of love and trying to do what we can for our institution. Like he said, it kind of started out as just a lot of desire to help the institution because we were getting calls basically throughout the country that basically said the institution was not responding to particular areas. And of course, he has a child from out of state. So housing became an issue. And then once housing, then your financial aid became an issue. And unfortunately, registration looks like it did when we were in school, guys. So we just suffered from a lack of leadership. So with that in mind, together just figured out what we could do to kind of pay it forward. Had no idea that this would be thrust upon us so soon because we were just wanting to just help the previous administration, which was not what none of us desired, but it was what it was. And we've all agreed we would support that effort. And in doing so, we will lend our talents and skills to the institution. And out of that, we find ourselves here looking for another president. Marcus so eloquently stated the lack of stability and our students excelling not because of, but in spite of Thus, we have people who are committed to try to touch alumni throughout the country to engage the base to say enough is enough. And we want to claim ownership of our institution and its leadership.
I absolutely love that. In some way out of all of this, I feel like I love that. It says the 1877 project for a better JSU, right?
Yes,
I just want to build on that real quickly. Thought that comes to mind is this. Sometimes things tend to, throughout history, self-correct. Sometimes when you continuously have to endure attacks, intentionality, circumventing of said processes, coloring outside the lines, however you want to say it. I think this is a phenomenal opportunity for JSU, and I actually appreciate. It's not a position we want to be in, but sometimes when you're looking for a silver lining in all of this, sometimes it's good that we get punched in the gut, and now everybody wakes up and say, "Wait a minute." And I think what we can do is, and what I love about the 1877 project is there is a quiet yet very effective movement that is happening because alums are fed up. And one of the things that happens, and you guys know this through the annals of history, things don't start to change until we get tired.
Exactly.
Things start getting uncomfortable. Now we got to get active now, because honestly, what we're doing, this platform, the NIL collective, the foundation, all of this derived from chaos, man. And that's the beauty in this whole thing, that you guys have an opportunity and we're here to help. So what I do want to say is this. I do want to say, if you guys could if you can post the link in the comment section, that would take everyone in the chat directly to I can get Earl on. Absolutely. We're going to have him on the show. Matter of fact, tell him to pull up on Friday, KD. Tell him to pull up. We're going to talk to him. But no, drop the link.
Mark is taking care of it.
We want everybody that is not somebody to drop that. Okay. I'm gonna copy this real quick, Brother Mark.
Yeah. Okay.
And drop this in the chat again. So if you guys are in the chat and you guys are watching tonight and you haven't clicked that link, please do so. Let's get to 1,000. We got over 400 people watching us right now. Whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on Twitter, whether you're watching on YouTube, click the link. Let's put the collective to the side, because let's be real about something. We affect a very, very small group of students at the Jack State. We're talking 7,800, 7,500 students, right, that go to Jack State, give or take. So if we're working with 30 of them,
we wish, Ken, the enrollment is down so low now, man. We don't even talk about it. It's 7,000.
It's dismal. It is. It
exactly.
is.
I want to make one appeal though, brother.
Come on.
We run out of time. I don't know what kind of time frame you on.
We on our time. You good?
Oh man, I might. Well, historically, when we stood up as a people, we were always viewed as being rebel rousers or troublemakers, because we trying to advocate for what's best for our people.
Yes, sir.
So I want to make sure our people understand that being an advocate doesn't make you negative or doesn't make you anti.
Facts.
It's good to be an advocate for something.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know about you all, gentlemen, but I want the same thing for my kids, my grandkids, that the majority group want for theirs.
100%.
And I don't think asking for a quality institution with quality leadership is asking for too much.
No, sir.
And that's where we fall down the middle of the road. And you ask the question, I'll jump in and take a bite off the apple. I wasn't pleased when I heard the alumni said, we're just going to be quiet. I think that's why we're in this predicament.
Absolutely.
And I told Mark and the people we were working with that we can't allow that to happen. Not this time, because we see what has happened historically.
Yes, sir.
So that's where I stand in the middle of the road. And I share with the committee, if it just boils down to us, it'll just be us in the room fighting for what we know is right for our kids and for education.
Yeah. Let me piggyback on that. because I think it's also important to understand that everything that Black people have gotten in this country has come because we have struggled for it. There has not been a time when there has been a group of white institutions that have said, here's the proper budget, here's the right to vote, here's any of those things. We have always had to fight, and that hasn't changed. And I think this is a reminder on a small scale. So small is really important to us, but not it's not everything that's happening in the country. But this gives us an opportunity to re-exercise those muscles of fight and struggle. And we need actually two things happening. We need the Saturday night function crowd and the Sunday morning ritual crowd. So when you talked about, we've always, when we take lemons and make lemonade, yeah, we do that. We've invented dances, we've invented jazz. Hell, I hope there's nobody from Valley on here, but Archie Cooley gave Bill Walsh that whole
the West Coast offense.
West Coast offense. Bill Walsh was calling that the Magnolia offense because he went down the valley and stole it.
That's correct.
So we've innovated in everything. So we need the people who are the Saturday night folks and the Sunday morning folks. To Tim's point, that advocating and building awareness and standing up for yourself, there is nothing negative about that. And so we need everybody to get on board with this.
Very well said. TD, want to jump in real quick? Right there.
Nah, man. I'm just sitting here enjoying these brother wisdom.
No, let me share something else with you now. I share with the group all the time now, and it's an old cliche, but it's very applicable. We found the enemy, and the enemy is from within. So let me paraphrase that and say, in the words of Janetta Cole, all of my skin folk ain't my kin folk.
Come on now.
So we got to go down the road with both eyes open.
Come on now. You talking now.
No choice. We have no choice. We've been sold out too many times.
Man, come on now. Come on now.
People been happy. People been happy with crumbs from the table. You don't get to be 230 pounds by eating crumbs. That day is over with, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it took me so long to arrive, but I'm glad, as the old people said, better late than never, because we've been quiet too long. As a matter of fact, brother, I don't know if y'all recognize, but we haven't been advocates for this institution since they ousted Dr. Peoples back in 1984.
Our Lord.
Yes, ain't that something? Ain't that something? Yes, since 1984, we just kind of swallowed whatever they sent to us.
That's that. Man, you talking now. I love it, man. Keep going. I don't. This is what I will say. I gotta say it. See, when we hear this type of stuff, people cringe. It get real tight. No, but it's true. Run towards it. Towards it. It's time that we look in the mirror and actually stop thinking that we not an obese, unhealthy entity wearing something that don't match what we really look like. I'll just say it in a nice way. It's
my brother Mark doing all our meetings, speaking truth to power, brother.
There you go. Yeah, that's what we're saying on. We're talking about, and then we build this platform on that as well: transparency, honesty, truth, integrity, the right character. Because if you do, my dad used to always say this, and I'll let you go, brother Mark. There's only one way to do it right, son.
That's right.
You cut as many corners as you can, but you're going to eventually meet the right way eventually. You ain't doing them by wasting your time. Just it's best to do it right the first time, and you don't have to worry about it. It may take a little longer to do it the right way, but go ahead and do it. Go ahead, brother Mark.
Yeah, the other thing is with that, why it's important to fight is that we have to set an example for. Now there are men and women that are undergraduate students there, but in some ways they're still kids, or they're certainly young men and women. We owe it to them to let them know when they are being shortchanged, and we don't need to let them leave Jackson State habituated to getting less than and being okay with it. right? We need to make sure that they understand and that the community understands that it does not have to be this way. But it's also not going to change if we don't say anything. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yes, sir.
So it's a lot going on here. We're stepping into the moment as best we can. I so appreciate you put that link in the chat. We definitely want to get the numbers up, and we want to wake our people up too, for sure.
Mark, you didn't speak to the culture education though. We talk often about students walk those hollow grounds when they look up at Alexander Hall and see those bullets, remnants of bullets. That should mean something to them.
Yeah. So Tim is bringing up something, and that I spent a lot of time on, which is the shooting, the massacre that occurred at Jackson State in 1970, when James Philip Gibbs and James Earl Green were killed, and 12 other students were shot. One of them, Vernon Steve Weekly, is a friend of both Tim and I, and he's still here. So this isn't like history. This didn't happen 100 years ago. This was in 1970, and we survived that. And that was because of the resilience of people like Dr. Peoples. That was because of the resilience of the community there in Jackson. And those holes are not trauma holes. They are there to remind us that, hey, it's always been a fight. And we shouldn't just go by Alexander Hall and say, look at that, that was a tragedy. We should take that as a sign of that, hey, we are where we are. And the only way out is that we build our minds up and that we act together in unity and move forward. And that's how we're going to get out of this. So we have a rich culture at Jackson State, a rich history of survival, and we not only, we are tired though of just surviving. That's where the whole phrase of the 1877 Project for a Better JSU. We are already really good at making bologna sandwiches. Right. We already know that. We want to do more than that. We want to have a legacy where we are thriving and not just surviving.
Hey, so brother, go ahead, TD. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I want to ask both of you brothers, what would you say to the individuals who feel, okay, well, with Jackson State being a state-funded institution, the president is appointed, therefore the state is handling the tab, the bills, the funds, toward the president. What gives you the right to speak? What would you say to those people?
TD, I say what is the clears and the obvious. I'm the state. I pay taxes.
Right.
My parents paid taxes. We've been disenfranchised. We're not going back down that road.
Right.
We've been taxed without representation. That's the oldest trick known to man.
Yeah,
that day's over with.
Yeah, listen.
We want to sit at the table.
Yeah, and in the state institution is first off, you get federal dollars. So even Jackson State, even though I live here in Georgia, Jackson State gets my federal dollars too. So I mean, we're already paying for it. I mean, we have a right to say something. That's obvious.
So let me ask you this, and I know brother Sharp, brother Rush, you were going to. Can you speak a little bit more into like the presidential search process for those who don't really understand? I think this is what I think happened, and this is what I know. We have a lot of uninformed, and by uninformed, it doesn't mean it's not an insult to your intellect. Sometimes we just don't know. I don't know how certain parts on the car work. I'm ignorant to that. So with that, what we tend to do is we tend to sometimes blend in certain rooms when there are certain conversations being had. We know how to say that's right. So oh man, that's messed up. And yeah, man, we got to get that, just so we could appear as though we are in the loop, we are in tune with what's going on or not happening. But deep down inside, we don't have a clue we don't even know how we're being wronged. So I think if we add a little bit more shape and form to like the process, how this thing works, and what we can actually do, what we can do as stakeholders in this process to affect IHL actually doing right by JSU this time, and not just saying.
Let me try a two-pronged approach, if you will, Ken.
Go ahead.
One is let's put paint on it and see what a president looks like.
Okay.
And what if we say we begin with a high business acumen, an ability to work well with external and internal communities, ability to raise funds, ability to network, and hopefully with some type of at least regional notoriety and or recognition among their peers. And now let's fast forward to the process. The process should be similar if you ever selected a pastor or what have you, in that every entity of the institution, faculty, staff, students, alumni, community leaders, what have you, would have their group, and each would have an opportunity to interact with perhaps a short list of applicants, and each should come to somewhat of an even keel of somebody they all could live with. And I think we all know the last process, my understanding is that he was not even an applicant.
He wasn't.
Somebody walked by and said, hey, you're going to make a good president, go over there on Lynch Street. After, for whatever reason, nobody wanted some of the applicants. So a fair process is a process, again, where everybody's involved, faculty, staff, students, alumni, internal, external, business community, clergy, what have you. Everybody can agree on a short list of maybe 1 and 2. And out of that, it really shouldn't matter, because both of those should be top tier candidates. Of course, you have a preference, but that'll be one of them deals. Aim for the moon and you hit the stars, you didn't lose nothing. Right. So that's what the process should look like, and everybody would have participated in it. That way, when you hit the campus, everybody can embrace and embellish, because everybody had a hand in it, and everybody has ownership. That's the main thing. So everybody is committed to supporting the effort, and nobody's sitting back waiting on somebody to fail.
Yeah. Can I jump in a little on that?
Go ahead.
It's also why transparency is important. So if we have a transparent process, this helps IHL. It helps the person he or she will sit in that seat of saying, no, I'm here because I went through a thorough process where the criteria was clear, where the community was involved, where IHL, the college board, the governing board, stuck to the process, and we came up with the best and most qualified and capable person there. Transparency is not a punishment. Transparency is a way to actually build trust, and both trust in terms of what's happening, and then when that person gets there, that we can all say, well, listen, this is who we selected. This is the process that we agreed on, and this is who we're going to get behind. Because so much of any executive job like that is also handling the things when they go wrong. Because there's nobody that takes a job, especially a job like president of the university and HBCU, especially, that is going to have everything go perfectly. You are hiring that person because of their competence around their profession, but also their wisdom to be able to navigate turbulent times. So the transparency helps everybody. And it also gives a rallying point behind everybody. It's actually a point of healing. And I don't think we have to have a healing and kumbaya, what have you. We just want transparency. But I'm saying it can lead to all of those things.
So I have two things, but first one, I know with the video that Ken played of Howard Ballou, he stated that I know at one point in time, Ole Miss was dissatisfied with their IHL choosing their president. Do anybody know how that was resolved?
I would say politics kicked in and everybody swallowed it. But I also would say I think there are some underlying forces over in Mississippi that I think is about ready for everybody to have somewhat of a board of their own and kind of get away from what we know as IHL.
Yeah.
Perhaps the system has outgrown IHL. We're talking about a system been around since the 70s with no modifications.
The other thing that I would add to that is that Ole Miss's money and Jackson State's money aren't the same. So one thing about it is that I don't know the gentleman or what have you. I certainly know the situation and the process is that Ole Miss has a number of resources or what have you that a president can come in and be learning on the job, so to speak. I'm not saying that's what that man was doing, but what I am saying is that when you have a number of resources like that, you can afford to have a sort of getting up to speed part of that. We don't have that number of resources, right? Just to begin with, we already are. Somebody in the chat I saw talked about budget and taxes and all of those things. We are already in the struggle, and this will be our fourth permanent appointment in 5 years or in 6 years. So we don't have the opportunity to get this one wrong.
I think also one thing to note, some dialogue I've had around that question, TD, and Brother Mark just mentioned it. I mean, when you got money, I mean, you can go to the state and say, hey, look, we're gonna fund first year of this salary, so you ain't spending no money on it, so give us who we want. When you can talk like that, when you can talk turkey and they ain't got to come out of pocket at all, you can make some things shake a little quicker as opposed to just being, budget strapped. The question I just saw a question in the comment that just kind of, it says IHL doesn't look like us. Hey, what would you guys say to, like, for example, we have an alum. Is that Dr. Cunningham that's on the board, IHL? Are there any conversations with him? Is it Steve? Was it Steve Cunningham? I think is his name.
That's on the to-do list.
Okay.
We want to get a couple of audience with a couple of people, and that's definitely on the to-do list. But we've been in a planning stage. We want to make sure that we're ready to roll out and don't be a waste of anybody's time. But that's certainly on the to-do list to try to get an audience with the College Board and him, certainly.
And I know the commissioner is Al Rankin is an alum of Alcorn. I just think that I know this meeting coming up July the 7th. Got only a couple of the members of the IHL board will be, I guess, listening. There was a question that asked how much of the 1877 project has been doing, or the Alumni Association, how much of that activity is what led to that meeting? Because that's a special meeting.
We're not certain as to how they arrived at their particular point.
Okay.
At least I'm not. Mark might know. I'm not certain.
Nah, I'm not aware, and I mean it's a fair question, but I'm gonna go on good faith and say that that the National Alumni is concerned and wants to have it, and I will attend the meeting. I'll know more afterwards. So we'll go from there.
I would hope at some point though they would offer us a face-to-face meeting and not just a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Because those are two very different things, right?
No doubt about it.
Because having a listening session, that's great. But ultimately, to Tim's point, where we really want to get down is talk in a room, pens and paper, and talk about what do we need to do, come to some agreement, and start marching towards a plan that everybody can agree on and make it transparent. And that can't happen in a Zoom or anything.
Yeah, we want to work together. We want to work together.
So is there like a timetable as to, like, because those are the types of things. I just think that there's no part of this process that we need, that the stakeholders need to be left in the dark on. It's time for us to, I just think that this situation that we find ourselves in is an opportunity for everyone to have a lot of questions about this process answered and how it works, what it's supposed to look like, because there is a pressing question. What happens if the IHL say the heck with all you, what y'all talking about? We're going to do what we want to do. Then what?
Well, I think that's why Mark mentioned what's going on over in Florida and FAMU.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't want to talk about litigation at this point, but for what we've been through, I think they will perhaps leave us no options.
Hey, and I was going to ask you, Mr. Rush, you said a few moments ago the enemy within. I recall listening, hearing something about the situation with FAMU, but most of you had an individual or two that was completely against the president they chose, and then within a couple of hours or minutes, whatever the case may have been, they went on to decide, hey, yeah, this is the right person, rather than standing their ground on what was going on. How do you find that enemy within? And once you find an enemy within, how do you approach them to get them removed so the process, so the healing process can start and things can go as healthy as they need to be?
I think that's when you go back to your parental upbringing, when mom and dad say, keep your enemy close to you. Because you'll never know until you get in the war room who's not with you.
That's correct.
So you got to really know who you're in that foxhole with. As a matter of fact, our little small nucleus that Mark keep referring to, we've already committed to the fact that if worse get to worse, we just get back to back and we'll fight.
I love it, man.
We're committed to the call, and Mark said it so elegant last night as we were asking for people with other leadership skills and abilities. He was letting them know that this is not a resume builder. This is a labor of love.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for shine, you're looking for the wrong group, not shine group. We the working group.
Yeah, this ain't no clout mission. This is about
matter of fact, I heard a man once say there's only two type of horses in the world. That's a workhorse and a show horse. And you can look at me and tell I'm not a show horse. I'll catch you later.
I love it, man. Hey, look, this all you see on this screen is a bunch of workhorses. We ain't no show horses now. We
it is. It's working time, brother. It's working time.
And I can't. Let me just give you guys your flowers now. The 1877 project, man. We appreciate everything you guys are doing, because I just want you guys to know that although everybody may not say it, you guys have definitely made a lot of alums feel like, man, finally, if something's moving, we got somebody. There is a pulse. we give a damn.
Mark introduced the ladies.
So you know what? Actually, Ken, you said something that's really important. The most important thing that alums can do right now is give a damn.
Absolutely.
If you can look at what's happening and your heart not break, or you not get angry or whatever, something is wrong. Give a damn. That is the most important. That's actually the first step, is just to give a damn. And then you can click the link and go to IHL or what have you, but we got to have people wake up first. And that's the first step.
Yeah, knowing is half the battle. It's definitely. I think there's so many layers. There's layers of incompetence. There's layers of instability. I was had a great conversation with someone, another alum, a week or so back, and he said, we don't have a academia problem. We have a business problem. You know what I mean? Jack State is failing in the business sector right now. And it's okay. Sometimes you got to say that. What TD is talking about, when he's talking about the enemy within, that's cancer, man. Like when you want to go get your diagnosis and you don't want the doctor playing with you about that, man. Tell me what's going on, doc.
Yeah.
So I can know how I need to treat this, man. Give me my options and let's get active, because I can't. Time is of the essence right now. But I still go ahead.
I want to say in the vernacular that the youngsters say, that part right there. See that makes people feel uncomfortable, because the best ability is accountability.
Yeah, I love
to hold people accountable. They feel uncomfortable.
So they do.
But we're not going anywhere. So regardless of who the president is, we're still going to be here to hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
We're here for the long haul. I think Brother Dawson did a great job explaining that to you. We're not just coming here, we're not just here for this particular process. We're here for the future of our institution as long as God give us breath in these bodies.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys think we're afraid of change? And there are so
Certainly.
many people that's rooted
Certainly.
with comfortable with.
Certainly, particularly the people that have been at the table eating the crumbs. Of course, they don't want change.
Oh boy, I was just about to say that. Look, get on away from round here.
Yeah, you don't want these crumbs, these my crumbs.
Yeah, man. Like we it's a little bit of that house Negro stuff, man. We done got used to we done got comfortable within our discomfort.
Yeah.
We done got comfortable within our discomfort, and now he who tries to make change becomes the enemy of the. You really become an enemy before you become a healer, man. It's just kind of how it works.
And I got to say this before we get off, guys.
Yes, sir.
There is a group of students that have been working with us from not day one, but we brought them in the process early, and they've been a great asset to us. We have not utilized them to the maximum ability because we were trying to really cover them or shelter them, but they're ready to jump out. So you might be hearing more from our students because that bothered us too, in that we haven't heard any adversity from our student body.
I would love to have any students that are out there, send them over here to us. We'll
make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Do it. And I think that's the most important entity that exists, the students.
That's who it's all about.
Our days are come and gone. We in our life, but I just thought that I do have a question, Brother Doc. So the WJTV interview, did they seek you out or did you guys?
Yeah, it was somebody that reached out to me shortly after we put that petition out. Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's been that. And listen, every chance we get a chance to talk to someone like you all or whatever, that's helpful. So we appreciate that.
So I do want to say this. Look, this is JSU Sports Chat, KC-1400 friends. I always say this, but this is the most important piece. Without this, there is no athletics. Can't have no athletics without a school, man. So we're gonna always. Sometimes you got to pause. Ain't no sports being played right now anyway. So the players are finishing up this week strong. They're gonna get a couple weeks off, and then they're gonna start summer session 2. We got Swag Media Day coming up. Look, we're gonna have a ton of sports shows. We know we got Brother C. Lee, if you're out there, get ready. If you don't mind, if you want to come up and I know we're gonna transition here in just a little bit. But one of the things that's also in the news that we had our very own former Faculty Senate President, Dr. Don Bishop McLean, was
reinstated. Certainly reinstated.
Happy to hear that.
Fine professor and administrator.
Absolutely outstanding, man. This is a great day. And not only that, but I did want to get Brother Seeley on to touch on this as well, because I know he eloquently spoke on this, the removal, because one of the things that made her so powerful in what transpired is when the process in it, she didn't back down.
She was speaking for the voiceless.
Yeah, she was like, "Look, man, you got 60 days, bro. Let me know." And because of him being challenged on, let's call it what it was, the previous president was threatened by the stance that was taken, and he unethically removed her, and she filed a lawsuit and she won.
Congratulations.
This link is for Brother C. Lee, but not only that, but I'll just put this up there. The Mississippi Institution of Higher Learning and the Jackson State University have reached a tentative agreement to settle the months-long federal lawsuit filed by a former Faculty Senate president who was placed on leave pending termination last fall. The settlement would give Dr. Don Bishop McLean her job back as a tenured professor. I know, brother, she did send out a message to colleagues, and I'll read this message. Dear colleagues, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks for the letter of support you provided on my behalf. Your words meant more than I can express and played a vital role in helping me through a challenging chapter. I'm grateful to share that I have been reinstated to my position as a tenured professor at Jackson State University. Your support helped make this outcome possible, and I am truly thankful. I look forward to continuing excellence in higher education for the state of Mississippi. With sincere appreciation, and be well, Dr. Don Bishop McLean. Beautiful. Absolutely awesome, man, to have that back. I just feel like that. I feel like this reinstatement is along with the 1877 project, along with all that are doing what it is that we are doing, is a kind of a token. It's an omen. It's a sign that everything is going to be moved in the right direction.
Hello, Brother Lee.
How you doing, Brother C. Lee?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
All right, there you go. First of all, I really appreciate the brothers that came on tonight. When they created the website, I went clicked on and got the information to email my representatives and IHL. So I appreciate the work that they've been doing. I appreciate their update tonight. So I just wanted to say we appreciate y'all, and it connects directly to what is happening here. I'll just start by saying that, sometimes as the two brothers were alluding, let me put it to this way. Gil Scott Heron said that Black folks got free and the whole world got free. And what that means is that every law, Brother TD, just about every law in America is connected in some way to the civil rights movement. And that has to do with the disabilities movement, gender. There are very few laws in America that are not connected in some way to our liberation movement as a people, and even how the United Nations structures much of its language for how people should be act globally. I say that because Dr. Bishop McLean's issue was both a Jackson State issue and a national issue.
Correct.
It was a Jackson State issue, of course, because it was happening to us, right? It was happening to us. Specifically, we had an esteemed professor, nationally noted or internationally noted researcher, removed from her position simply for doing her job as faculty senator, as president of the faculty senate. That needs to be understood. That she was not removed for doing anything other than representing the faculty and representing the faculty zealously, right? I tell people, if you want to see, and again, y'all know Brother Ken and Brother TV, they are the more religious people. I'm just trying to get to the not so hot part of hell, hoping y'all can pray me out of just that part. But I'll use this example. I always tell people, when you use the word zealot, be careful, because the Apostle Paul was a zealot. And so when you call somebody a zealot, what you're calling someone is a person who is, one, willing to do right when no one else is willing to do right, and is willing to do right regardless of the consequences. That is what happened to Dr. Bishop McLean. Now, I want to extend that nationally, that I set up to let people step in. What we have to understand is that the current attack by the Agent Orange administration, President Agent Orange, the current attack by President Agent Orange on universities is essentially an attack on critical thinking by attacking the professors who have the knowledge and the ability to refute the policies that they want to put in place.
Correct.
And the way that you do that, and this is how you need to understand now, this is they're coming to the peak. This is about a 25-year attack on tenure faculty, because the way that you promote or perpetuate misinformation is to remove the scholars and critical thinkers who can refute your lies. You do that by removing tenured faculty. So the attack on Dr. Bishop McLean is not just an attack on Jackson State's cadre of professors. It is an attack nationally on the new regime to remove the professors who can stand against their war on DEI, their war on misinformation when we get into vaccines and we get into information such as CDC research, cancer research, nutrition research, how do we properly feed? All of this is tied to the intelligentsia at universities. So this is a victory. Let's be clear. Dr. McClendon's victory is a victory for Jackson State. It is a victory for safeguarding and protecting the professors, because if we don't safeguard and protect the professors, as brothers Rush and Dawson have stated, then the curriculum we want at Jackson State won't exist.
Correct.
Right? When they're going after things such as critical race theory, which is a farce, by the way, which is smoke and mirrors. But by going after it, what they were really doing was trying to limit our political thrust by limiting our historical armament, right? If you don't know your history, it limits your ability to be politically active. So I'll stop there just to say that. And what I want to see now is, I was glad that the article mentioned that Dr. Bishop McClendon had national backing. Here's what was crazy.
Yeah.
All of the national organizations, right, who understood tenure and how do you deal with tenured professors and how do you deal, all of them said this was illegal. Like, so it should have never even gotten to a hearing, right? So right. This then is why it's important to have proper presidential leadership. Because if you don't have proper presidential leadership, then you have people. It's one thing to do something that's wrong. It's another thing to do something that's illegal, right? Let me be clear about that, right? We all have made mistakes on our job. There's not a person on the screen who had to go at their job, my bad, right? We've all had to do that. What we would hope is that none of us have done anything illegal in our job simply because either we didn't know, and let's be clear, not knowing your job can lead to you doing something illegal. So by not knowing, so when you put a person in place, how should I say, when you put a person in place as a president who hasn't been properly vetted, these are the only results that you can get.
Correct.
And if you look at the only thing, it was the amount of time. But if you actually look at the article and the ruling itself, on the very face, on the very merits of her lawsuit, all the court could say is, you are absolutely correct. This was absolutely an academic and professional travesty, and we're going to reinstate you. We're going to give you all the money that you lost. And now the next step is the hope that Dr. Bishop McClendon can be, because it'll have to go to a vote, can be voted back as faculty senate president, if that's what the faculty wants. And by everything that we can gather, she was beloved and she was appreciated by the faculty. So that seems to be the case. I'll shut up and see if anybody wants to chime in.
Listen, brother, you said everything there. The only thing that I would add is that the firing of being able to remove tenured professors is coming out of the Project 2025 playbook. Because what you're doing is you're silencing scholars and you're silencing dissent, you're silencing innovation or what have you. So earlier, I think it was UTD that said, do people just want to stay the same? That's what conservative means. Conserve means that you solve problems by going back to what you used to do, right? Like, this is what worked for me in the past, so I'm going to go back to that. And so her reinstatement is, it's a victory for certainly her and her family. That's one thing. And it's a victory for the Jackson State community, but it's actually a victory for the nation, whether people know it or not. It's actually a bigger reinstatement than we realize. And it probably will have those type of implications.
I want to take a different approach and simply say, it would be my hope and prayer going forward that when faculty recognize one of its own being mistreated, that there is some advocacy.
Yes.
And I just believe in my heart, had the faculty stood up, we wouldn't have got to this point. Because as we talk so eloquently here tonight, you can't have an institution without faculty. And faculty is really, to me, just like students. There's so much power within the ranks, but it's one of those deals where you have to stay unified. And I would also make an appeal to them. I don't know if Dr. McGlynn has a desire to lead the faculty senate again, but if there's a desire, I certainly hope that the faculty would have enough sense to recognize to stand behind a good leader. I want her to go to war for me.
Absolutely.
That'd be my take on it.
Yeah. And,
man, go ahead, brother.
And I would add, and Brother Ken and Titi Yalos have to help me with this. Who was the brother who was the rep, the union rep for the NFL, who was so terrible at his job?
DeMar Smith.
Yeah. You know, and I mentioned that because, right, one of the administration, right, one of the things that the administration would argue, and I always tell people, my father used to always teach me that as Black folk, we should be skeptical of certain buzzwords used against Black people, right? Because that's the way the powers that be. So certain buzzwords that, you know, this person is difficult to get along with, or this person is a little abrasive, or this person is a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
One of the things that the great Hollis Watkins, came out of SNCC movement here in Mississippi. He said you have to understand that when you hear the word agitation, right? They used to talk about political agitators. He said, and that's what the Confederates would use the term. You got these agitators, and Hollis would say, you do understand that in the washing machine, it's the agitator process that actually gets the cleaning done.
No doubt about it.
There can be no cleansing without the agitation. So we don't want a DeMar. What is his name? What's his name again?
DeMar Smith.
We don't want a DeMar Smith as our faculty senate leader. We want an agitator you want somebody, because here's the thing. I always give the example. I'm for Brother Russian, Brother Dawson. I'm actually a poet and short story writer by trade. So I do a lot of lecturing. If I'm not writing, I do a lot of lecturing. So one of the examples I use is that people have to understand, when we come back to this notion about agitation, not that they can't be the same, but there's a difference between an entertainer and an artist as it relates to agitation. An entertainer is interested in making you happy, right? So an entertainer will walk up to you and say, are you happy? No. Tap, 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 tap. Happy now? Right? That's an entertainer. An artist is interested in creating art that makes you uncomfortable, because people only change when they are uncomfortable. So the artist knows making you happy is not going to spark social political change. But if I can create art that makes you uncomfortable, art that makes you uneasy, art that questions your position on things. And so what we want in leadership is a Dr. Bishop McGlynn who will agitate. I love W.B. Du Bois said that we must be willing to fight for change in season and out of season.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
A lot of people don't understand that term. See, you can't let the oppressor define your movement. You can't let the people against whom you're agitating, you can't let the people against whom you are fighting for justice define how you fight for justice, because they're going to define how you fight for justice in a way that keeps them in control of you.
That's right.
So we cannot allow the people against whom we're fighting for justice to evaluate our chosen leadership. And what was happening is that we were allowing certain, not all, but certain elements of the administration to define Dr. Bishop McGlynn rather than allowing us. Now, I will say to Brother Rush's point that you are correct that we need that unified faculty. And I will say that the faculty did indicate to the president that they did not want her removed, right? Which then speaks to, again, what happens when you hire or when you allow IHL to choose unqualified presidents who are not beholden to you, even after the faculty wrote letters of support to Dr. McClellan and stated publicly that they wanted her, the president refused to meet with them until they would elect another faculty president. So they were in a catch-22 bind, right? We trying to tell you this ain't right, but you won't meet with us until we get somebody else. Now, we could talk about should the faculty have been a little bit more public, like you guys, like were ultimately with the 1877, right? And I would say that yes, but I did want to just add that it was clear and made clear to the president that the faculty and the staff, by the way, because you have a faculty president, you have a staff president, right? Because they both have to represent their two particular interests. So we would like for it to have been a little bit louder, but she did have, and so we'll see going forward if you guys, like you said, if she wants to resume that position.
I want you to address one other thing for me, Brother Lee, because I'm sure you probably know. My understanding is that the previous president was in the courtroom with her, and the judge asked him the question, what did she do? And he could not articulate what she did. Well,
Not only that, it was never clearly articulated in the paperwork of her firing what she did. Other than in very general terms of words that they use about being aggressive. And I'm not, I'm not gonna understand, I'm again, those words like being aggressive and belligerent and like I was, I taught for 25 years at Jackson State before I retired. And what gets me is that we allow our leadership to use lines of argument that we wouldn't accept from freshman students at college. If a student said she was aggressive or belligerent, we would say, based on what evidence?
Expound on it.
Exactly. Expound on it. Provide. So that was actually, other than she was aggressive and difficult to work with, right? These kind of buzzwords, right? And even if you're going to say hostile workplace, you have to follow that with actual specific examples.
You have to.
What creates a hostile workplace? So it was never
where I'm going now. The next question is: were you an ill witness or an eyewitness?
Let me throw one thing in there. I do feel like, because I'm a sponge right now, but you know what's ringing right now with what's being said? This is why the process of everything that you guys are doing matters. Because when someone is allowed to be placed in a role, they are given autonomy to do whatever the heck they want to do. They're not going to be beholden to true processes. They're not going to be beholden to ethics for the most part, because they are now backed by the system that placed them in there in the first place. They knew before they got in there that they weren't supposed to be in there.
Right.
Exactly. That's right. They go in, assume the role, and now I get to do whatever I like to do or not do. And now, like Doc said, it was a hostile work environment because I have a cousin who's a professor there. I also have several friends who work there. And people got into the place where they was like, you know what, I'm just going to go in my little silo and do what I do. Right. I'm going to cry in silent and I'm going to say, I hate this place. I don't know. Something's got to give. So I got to be honest with you guys. I was actually, as much as I do not want to be back in this situation, I am absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah.
That person placed in the university's leadership role is no longer in that role, because now we get to take this, build on it, galvanize the gang, the alumni base, the community, to now add a little heat to the process and say, y'all better not screw us again, man, because y'all batting a zero right now. Start with Bynum. Even when actually you go back to Myers, where you guys were approving spending. Correct. So if you're approving spending, it ain't like she was out there spending money that y'all can't. It's got to hit your desk before we can even do it.
That's
so
right.
How do you give the green light on something, then turn around and slap somebody on the wrist for something you were allowing them to do? Then Bynum, I can go on and on.
So, brother Ken, let me take that, and I want to build on that and come back to it.
Sure.
It is why this the program that we have with the 1877 project is so important. A strong leader wants other strong leaders around them. They want people that are going to push back, because that's where you are going to get your best ideas from. A strong leader won't be afraid. So when Dr. Peoples takes over in 1967 to make a parallel between Dr. Bishop McClin, Margaret Walker was on the staff there, a world-renowned scholar.
Yes.
She had publications. She was one of the most famous writers and intellectuals in the United States.
Yeah.
Dr. Peoples empowered her. You see what I'm saying? He didn't get in her way. And she's not somebody, if you study and read her biography or look at her work, she's not somebody that's she is not a just go along to get along type. She was a 1930s radical with the Southside Writers Group, along with Richard Wright and Arna Bontemps. When she started the Margaret Walker Center there, she would have Mary Baraka. She would have Nikki Giovanni there, Ossie Davis. Louis Farrakhan was at Jackson State. So listen, we need a leader that can understand when you see talent, you empower it.
Yes.
You don't try to fight it and stifle it. That's why this petition is so important. It is important that we get this leader right. We want somebody that doesn't have the credentials, right? I'm not a credential person on here, right? Dr. Rush is, or what have you. Credentials are important. They're very important. And that's what we also want, somebody who's had the credentials before they got the job too. We don't want you to like get the job and then the day afterwards get the credentials. We want you to have them coming in. But more than that, we want somebody with the fight and with the wisdom. Again, going back historically, when Dr. Peoples comes in 1967, the College Board, what we know as IHL, wanted to leave Jackson State as Jackson State College. He saw it as Jackson State University and pushed for the type of programs, getting the type of professors. You got to have a number of PhDs. You got to have a number of type of programs, certain types of majors, all of those things. He pushed past what people in Mississippi wanted to create the Jackson State University we have now. And we can't go backwards. We can't. We've had too many times where we're going backwards. And listen, I don't want to be Pollyanna, like the sky is falling, but in the way it is, we have to push back now. If we don't push back now, we won't have anything to push on.
It's a wrap.
It's a fact. Man, so much has been said tonight. What a show! I appreciate you guys.
Man, we thank you for having us, man.
Man, this has been a treat. Hopefully, Tiger Nation and you guys share this stream, man. We've had 2 back-to-back unbelievable shows, and this is what it's all about, man. It really is. I'll say this: blessings to whoever's going to be the next president of Jackson State University, because it's going to be some definitely levels of accountability being. Man, we not standing for nothing, man. We just not, man. I'm glad that it's a lot of us that are fed up. I'm proud to offer this platform to those that are out there that are moving in a constructive, positive, progressive manner. This venue, this platform is always available. We're always trying to tackle and touch the tough issues and give some type of light to it. Everything can't be done on social media. But sometimes we need to just sit down and talk, have real conversations, and put it out in the atmosphere so those can see it. So hopefully, if you guys have watched this show tonight, you go back and you share it on all your socials. Share the show from Monday. There were some other things we did want to get into, but we got another show Friday, so we're not really worried about it. We'll touch on it then. I do want to offer each of you an opportunity if there's something else you guys want to touch on before we get ready to close this bad baby out, man.
I just have, first of all, I want to thank Brother Dawson and Doc Rush. I just have a question. Doc Rush.
Yes, sir.
Are you related to the great Dr. Rush who was in education at Jackson State?
No more than frat brothers. You know, he had 2 daughters. I went to school with him, but I'm the brother. Brother he was in the art gallery with 2 weeks ago.
Okay, there we go. There you go. But I like I said, when I saw the Rush and the times I wanted, I just wanted to know.
Your accent, was he related to Bobby Rush?
Oh,
that's not it. Well, as Mark and I joke, the Bobby Rush, the gangster from Illinois, is not the Bobby Rush from Ellis Avenue.
Right.
That's not his stage name.
Right. Right. We got Bobby Rush, the Black Panther from the west side of Chicago.
That's my people. They're my people.
And then we got, Bobby Rush, the originator of the chicken heads down there.
Hey, I do want to say this, yo, Ken and TD, and maybe Brother Lee can speak on it, because there are others. And I was meeting with a group that he's been involved with for a long time that putting boots on the ground also. I don't know if he's ready to mention that name. I know they're not quite ready to roll out, but they are in planning stages to fight the same efforts, and they're going to be fighting on behalf of all of the historically Black college universities in the state.
Well, I'll tell you what, when that time comes, we're in that number.
Okay, say less.
There is no. Let me just. Jackson State is leading the charge in a lot of different avenues due to the phenomenal alums and that are taking the lead. I don't like talking about us, but from what I know, there is no other HBCU platform out there that's quite like what we do. I'm not comparing what we do to what others do because everybody has a lane. But it's way deeper than just doing YouTube shows. I think everybody knows that by now. We boots on the ground as well. But there is a responsibility that comes with having an audience and making sure that the right message is out there. And if it fits and it aligns with what we're doing, we'll delve into it. We got some things coming, man, with some heavy hitters of some very important and I would just say historically impactful alums that I've been in conversations with that we're looking to hopefully bring to the show to add different dynamics. We got some amazing shows coming down the pipe. We probably will take a break next week. But yeah, when they get ready to rock and roll, if it aligns, it makes sense, and you better believe it, we'll be more than happy to have them on.
I'll be in contact, man. And I want to thank you, gentlemen, man. I've just been reading some of the chats, man. It's been an impressive night, and thank you for giving us a audience, man.
So I want to say this one thing. I went to school with Margaret. I was at Jackson State with her grandson, Kahari Alexander. That was my classmate. We took a lot of accounting classes together and all that good stuff. But I remember talking to him, and there's something that he shared with me that his grandmother taught him that just stuck with me for the rest of my life. So I'm going to Bible class, and we had these pamphlets, man, and I always kept them, just not a Jehovah's Witness and nothing like that, so don't think that. But there was some literature in regard to some of the teaching. And I was trying to, when you early in that thing and you fiery, not that I'm not fiery now, it's not about what you know and saying things to other people. It's really about the effectual working, because really true ministering is not necessarily running your mouth. It's how you live your life, and your aura and your character and disposition affects people without you. You don't even have to talk. But you know what he told me? He wouldn't take it. He said, man, my grandmother, and I didn't realize at the time his grandmother was Margaret Walker Alexander. It just didn't dawn on me, right? Mm-hmm. He said, and if Kahari ever comes across this, he gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. That's my guy. He said, man, my grandmother always told me, man, be very careful what you read. Mm. And he just was like, no, because he was like, and I understood that, because this is my parting words to those of us. We are in times right now that are very tumultuous. It's very weird, very, emotionally unstable. We have an idiot that's in a powerful position. I'll just leave it at that. So I understand that now, because at the end of the day, you have to protect your peace, man. Because the way you read things, you read with your eyes, you understand, you read the words in your own voice, your words formulate pictures in your brain, and it ain't no different than watching horror movies. Brother C. Lee and I share a very common thing right now. We don't do horror. I don't do horror.
Me to that.
My brain will go left, and I can't turn it off, Brother Dr. Rush. I can't. I got to go turn Family Feud on to turn it off, man, because it'll keep going and going and going all night. I'm a big thinker. But it dawned on me when he said that, I was like, man, that's really powerful. So to this day, I never met her, but I met her grandson, and became friends with her. And it helped me understand just how awesome of a woman Margaret Walker Alexander was, man, how impactful she was. So you sharing what you shared, say, I didn't know nothing about that. Because when you say, when was that, Brother Dr. Dawson? Brother Dawson?
So Margaret Walker started at Jackson State, I want to say in the late 40s, and was there until the 80s, the early 80s.
See what I mean? I was born in the early 80s, so I'm saying,
But let me stay there. Brother Rush knows this. There's not going to be an hour that goes by and I don't mention Dr. Walker. But there's a reason why. There should never be a day at Jackson State when we don't celebrate the boom, or we don't remember Walter Payton or W.C. Gordon or Bob Hill or what have you. Having said that, we also have right there the Margaret Walker Center.
Yep.
What we have there in between COFO, we have the equivalent of the Dead Sea Scrolls of the civil rights movement and the precursor to the Black arts movement, right? Like, you don't have, bottom line is I can paint a clear line between Sinners or the work of Spike Lee back to Margaret Walker and going back to Langston Hughes. She was mentored by Langston Hughes. And then she mentored a new generation, which included Nikki Giovanni or what have you. And she did that work right there in Jackson, Mississippi at Jackson State. Her house was right across from the Evers house.
Yep.
We're talking about a giant there. And her seminal poem, For My People, there was one line that I just want to get in there that relates to, at least it inspires me certainly with the 1877 project, is it says, let a second generation full of courage issue forth. Let a people loving freedom come to growth. She's saying, let a new earth arise. Let a bloody peace be written in the sky. She was writing about revolution in the 1940s. So what I'm saying is that, listen, you will see me in this shirt come game day, but we don't need a student to leave Jackson State and not have spent time in the Margaret Walker Center.
Correct.
We don't need a student to leave Jackson State and to not know For My People. We don't need that to happen. We don't need a student to leave Jackson State and not having gone down to COFO and understand that it wasn't just speeches. So Brother Lee mentioned SNCC. That was a lot of organization with COFO, with Brother Aaron Henry and Medgar Evers, and saying, hey, wait, Dr. King, you coming over to Mississippi with SCLC. I see Stokely, you all coming down here with SNCC. And then you got Brother Dennis with CORE. You know what I'm saying? And I got the NAACP in my ear. Hold up. We're going to all work together and we're going to organize under this umbrella of COFO. And so that's why when Brother Rush, you pinged Brother Lee about other organizations working on behalf of it, we welcome it. We don't have a blueprint on doing this work. We want to work with other people and work. It's been done before. What men have done, what men have done before, men will do again. And that's what we're doing right now. So this isn't the first time we've had to fight. We're just reinventing that. We're building on the momentum of memory and bringing that to forth. So anyway, whoever brought up Margaret Walker, it was probably me, because I don't ever let it go by. But she is so important, and we need actually a president that wants to tap into that.
And just to add to Brother Dawson's point, because I'm glad he went there. A lot of people don't know this. The first Black Studies program in America
is at Jackson State.
Well, we were the second.
Second, because San Francisco's in January, and then we in May. Yes,
exactly. So the first one, San Francisco State, and then the second one under Dr. Margaret Walker Alexander, the Margaret Walker Alexander Center. So Jackson State is essentially, we created the second Black Studies program. And to Brother Dawson's point, I'm sure you'll be glad to hear one of the last things I did before I retired at Jackson State was that I established 2 classes, a 400 level class on Margaret Walker Alexander and a 400 level class on Richard Wright. So anybody can take the class, but
cultural education.
Make it almost impossible. If you're a Jackson State English major, you have to take the Richard Wright class and the Margaret Walker class, because as you stated, Margaret Walker was the only person who in 1970 could say every major Black female writer should come to Jackson, Mississippi, and it happened with the Phyllis Wheatley, and they were celebrating the 200 year anniversary of Phyllis Wheatley's publication of her first collection of poetry. So yeah, I want to just echo everything that Brother Dawson said, that we have the second oldest institute for the study of Black life and culture at Jackson State University, and it needs to be celebrated more. It needs to be promoted more. And so yeah, I'm glad you said that. So I'll shut up.
I thought you was going to allude to the fact that he's literary too, Brother Dawson. He didn't tell you that part.
I heard he's short story writer and poet and all like that. Yeah,
I got it in the background, right? But I want to say this, Ken and TD, before I go, because my wife been texting. I saw what she
I see.
She said she want me to share with everybody, because I think she want 1877 to use this going forward. She simply says, if loving JSU is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Amen.
We can end on that one, guys.
Amen.
and what like the young folks say, Dr. Russ, bars. Hey man, this has been outstanding. TD, go on with it, baby.
Hey, I would like to say this. First of all, it's been a blessing being able to share this panel with you guys tonight. To get such great knowledge and history told on the platform. I hope everybody is able to go back and watch this and understand the movement. I would like to take this time to plug once again. This is Men Mental Health Month. Make sure you're taking care of your health. Make sure you're checking on your poor friend, your rich friend, anybody that you would call a brother. Also, for those men who don't have primary care or do have primary care, on Saturday, my church will have a men health day from 8 to 12. Come and have breakfast, informational speaking, free health screening, local health and wellness vendors will be on site. And that's at Greater Pearly Grove, 1640 West County Line Road. So if you don't have a primary medical provider or anything, you want to come get yourself checked out, blood pressure, EKGs, anything that you need, everything is going to be provided on Saturday from 8:30 to 12 at Greater Pearly Grove. So if you want to come by, feel free, come get some breakfast and get yourself tested as well. Take care of your health.
Well, I won't be there because if I was there, I would pop up, but I do have an appointment. All right, listen, I'm of the age now. I just said it. Listen, I know I'm the youngest on the panel, but then at the same time, man, health is wealth. Man, got to get that checkup. I'm moving my checkups to 2 a year now, and got to check them prostates, man. Get everything checked, man. Make sure everything operate properly. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to say this. Not only do you guys, I want you guys to share this show, but please share Monday's show as well. Greg, appreciate the email. I got a long email, family. Just of the men and the reception of the show on Monday. If you guys haven't had a chance, Brother Dr. Rush or Brother Dawson, go back and check it out. You know, we were talking about the interviews wide receiver Shamar Savage had on Tiger Talk TV. I implore you to go watch that interview on Tiger Talk TV. If there's anyone in the chat, go to Tiger Talk TV on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because this platform was birthed out of that platform. I shout out to D. Corey C and all that good stuff, man. But that interview was transformational as well. And I think there are a lot of us that are struggling privately. I'm going to say that again. There are a lot of brothers that are putting on a face and are quietly struggling.
Right.
Quietly depressed, struggling emotionally. Hey, man, you know, it's all good. I will say this, though. One last thing. This is my party. Well, I'll leave that alone. I'll wait till Friday to touch on that. But just go check out show on Monday. Appreciate everybody, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Listen, before we get off, if you are watching on Facebook or Twitter, do me a favor. Go to YouTube, KC-1400 Media. Hit the subscribe button. Turn your notification bells on. And we're going to continue to have conversations like this. Mark, Tim, Dr. Rush.
Brother King, before you go.
I'm not going to get off this yet, but I do want to ask them, what is the next step for the 1877 project? Like, what's the next?
Small focus groups. You'll be hearing from us.
Good deal. Okay, go ahead, Brother C. Lee.
I wanted to put this on Dr. Rush and Brother Dawson's back burner because I know they're handling this right now. But when they were talking, it made me think about something that we tried to do a couple of years ago, and it kind of fell by the wayside. And I know this would be near and dear to their heart. There was a movement. We need to get both of Dr. Peoples' books digitized because he's in his 90s. And what happens often is too many of our great thinkers who actually have books, they pass away, and then that great information is no longer available. So I just want to put that. And also, we need to get Dr. Leah Gaston Rhodes's History of Jackson State digitized as well.
First
so I want to put that because I knew that would be near and dear to their heart. But so Dr. Leah Gaston Rhodes, History of Jackson State, and definitely Dr. Peoples' two books, particularly to survive and thrive, the quest to make a great university, because we know he's in his 90s. But we want, because that book was required reading for my class. If you took my freshman comp class, you had to read Dr. Peoples to survive and thrive, but it's not been digitized yet. And so I just want to put that on folks like y'all who are active in the alumni and understand and doing that academic work as well. I'll shut up. That's the last thing I want to add.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we get out of here, family, we're 31 signups away from our 500 count goal of the collective. The link is actually pinned to the chat. It's pinned to the chat. Of course, you guys know what we got going on. We're looking to hit 500. If you haven't, we do have our partnership with Greenwood Whiskey. We know, Brother Dawson got plenty of it over there. He done won all of it. He done won everything. But listen, if you the bottles are still, we cleared over 250 bottles. The initial allotment of what we were trying to do, but the pre-order link is still available. Go to greenwoodwhiskey.com/buy Greenwood and grab yourself some. Grab your football tickets. I'll leave everything else right there. Again, gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for joining us and tuning in. I do want to, while we have you guys, I do want to go through a couple of shout outs real quick. And you guys stay on for that. I want to send a huge shout out to Dr. Doom, Robert Brazil. He had his event on yesterday. It was a great success. Man, shout out to Mobile, man. Shout out to the city of Mobile. They put on for him. It was a great turnout. It wasn't just him, but his statue has now been erected in front of the convention center in Mobile. So when we go down there to Mobile for the Gulf Coast Challenge, we're definitely going to get over there and check that out. TD, myself, KT Dub, all of us had an opportunity when we were in Mobile last year to actually see this statue in the garage before they actually put it out, along with Satchel Paige and a lot of others, Isaac Smith and others that were also enshrined into mortality at the city of Mobile. So that's pretty awesome. I want to send a huge shout out to Coach Kevin Montgomery. TD, he received the key to the city of Vicksburg. I didn't know that Coach Kevin Montgomery was actually from Vicksburg. So we got to get Coach Montgomery to Vicksburg for our annual fundraiser that we do. We're going to start the planning in that. That will be in the beginning of January. That is our NIL football fundraiser in the city of Vicksburg. But he received the key to the city, man. And shout out to the athletic administration team that showed up to support him. I think that was outstanding. It's pretty awesome. And last but not least, we want to send a huge shout out to brother Christian Houghton, who was our head drum major this past year. This is pretty awesome story, TD and panel. He is now going to be the director of bands at Fairfield Central High School in Winsboro, South Carolina. He said, I want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me up until this point. Anyone that truly knows me knows that I've been dreaming of becoming a band director in my home state since 2019. I'm forever grateful and appreciative of this opportunity to inspire the youth through music education. I'll always be the fifth element and showstopper, but for the rest of my life, I'll be Mr. Houghton. Stay tuned. So congratulations to him, man. That's pretty awesome stuff. Some of this stuff we'll touch on Friday. But again, gentlemen, thank you again is he a Gator or from Warren Central? That is a question you got to ask him or Kevin Dent. I don't know. Shout out to the Vicksburg folks, though. but that's all we got tonight. Again, we want to shout out our channel sponsors. We appreciate ShotRx. Dr. Ted Lyons is an alum of JSU. We appreciate all his support for the channel, as well as Cannon Toyota Vicksburg. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you can go to Vicksburg, Cannon Toyota, Honda, ask for Billy, ask for Clay. They'll get you taken care of. If you're in the city of Jackson, you can go to Cannon Nissan. It's one of our partners. Ask for Will. They get you taken care of as well. Last but not least, not last but not least, Impact Tickets. So when we get ready to do our fundraiser this year, our fundraiser event will be going through Impact Tickets. More information to come with that. But we got a big act that I'm trying to pull off for that fundraiser. So stay tuned. I'm waiting on the availability of a particular artist. So it's going to be pretty awesome this time around as well. Last but not least, Auto Masters. Listen, if you're looking for a specific vehicle, they can go find any type of used vehicle for you. You can go to their website, www.automasters06.com, or you can give Timothy and Terrence a call, 601-927-7794, and they both JSU alums. Gentlemen, that's all we got for tonight. Again, we appreciate you guys. If you'd like to come back at any time, if you got some awesome updates to the movement and the project, let's stay in contact. Let's touch bases as often as we need, and we can definitely continue the dialogue, man. But thank you for all that you guys are doing. As always, Brother C. Lee, appreciate you for being available at the drop of a dime when we call up on you. TD, you got anything before we close out?
No, sir, I'm good. Appreciate you guys.
Y'all got anything?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For having me.
All right, appreciate it. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys back on Friday night. As always, it's D.I. Love. Go Tigers, baby.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
ShotRx is bringing healthcare to you. With our mobile health team, we can come to your school, church, or business to take care of you. We offer childhood immunizations, COVID and flu vaccinations, physicals, and much more. Don't put your health off. Welcome to Care and Compassion. Welcome to ShotRx.
Hello, I'm Kevin Dent, Jackson State University, safety, Canton, Ohio. Today I'm being inducted to the Black College Hall of Fame. I want to give a shout out to KC-1400 Media Group for giving me this platform to introduce me to this stage. I'd like to thank them, thank Jackson State and Jackson State family. Go Tigers.
Hey, this True Thompson. True, you got to get a word for Tiger Nation, man. I love y'all. Tiger Nation. D.I. Love. Go Tigers, baby. Appreciate you.